Hola, guapas. Okay, let's do a little update here because my whole trip is based on in the wintertime. I hate the cold, I hate the dreariness, and I love the sunshine. And I am an ocean kinda girl. I am a beach girl. Now, it's not because I love to lay on the beach, I just love being in the ocean and my feet in the sand. Like I just feel so connected to Mother Nature, and that's why it's so important for me. So when I started this whole Southeast Asia trip, I'm like, I'm gonna go to Bali. That was my end goal. And then as I'm looking at the map, I'm like, hey, I might only go to Southeast Asia one time. So let's pick all the countries along the way and stop and do a couple days here, a couple days there, just so I could get a feel for what each country is about, what the culture is about. Now, I know that a couple days is not enough time to really get to know and absorb and understand the culture, but I do have to say, just a little taste test kind of gives you an idea of what it's all about. So, having said that, my first couple of weeks was a whirlwind. I was in and out, my days were packed. I was doing things like doing all the tourist things. If you ever travel, you definitely want to get an app called Get Your Guide because it has all the popular activities and you can just book it on your phone. It's so easy. It's got all the ratings, it's got all the, like, there's 100 different companies that offer this and you can see their ratings. And when you're traveling like that, more like as a vacationing tourist, it's good to like just cut to the chase and get all of these, things on your list done. And so I was traveling like that. And that's not normally the way I travel. I like to immerse myself in the culture and really get to know what this group of people is all about and see if I can make some connections and be a part of the community and just really, be a part of it and understand it. And that's why the first, I don't know, like couple of weeks was intense because I was just on to the next country, on to the next country. But I decided after talking to a lot of people and doing a lot of research that Bali this time of year is in its rainy season. And a lot of people that have been to Bali recently, like, you learn a lot when you're a traveler and you talk to other travelers because they've just been there, they've just had the experience, and it's like up to date, in the know kind of information. And I've learned so much from, chatting with all these people that I realized, okay, I don't want to be in Bali right now because it's rainy season and I could be in Vancouver, you know what I'm saying? But there's other places that are better than Bali because Bali is crowded and dirty and it's not what it used to be. So I'm going to put that on the back burner for now and just see how I feel. Still an option, but maybe not till the end of my trip. Having said that, I just came from Siem Reap in Cambodia, had a blast. Absolutely, the people are amazing, and it was the first time I actually saw sunshine, so meaning like there wasn't a lot of smog, and it was a fabulous experience. Fabulous experience. And now I stopped for a day in Phuket, and now I found this tiny little island that I'm hoping to stay for, a while and start to become a part of the community and really experience the culture. Now, this is my vibe. I'm talking like yesterday. Okay, here's what happened. I showed up at my hotel and it was just like, I've done a lot of research, but I'm like, okay, I'll just be close to where the speedboat drops you off. And then I can just walk to my hotel and get a feel for what the island's all about and check out everything and see where I want to be. And so I'm at the top of the island, like I'm at the north end of the island, and the hotel, it's like a owned by a husband and wife, young husband. They're so nice and their place is spotless. Like they love keeping it clean. And you walk down the street and there's nothing except for their hotel, which is like full of gorgeous plants and colored tiles. And it's just so gorgeous. And it's literally a 30-second walk to the beach. And there's probably like 8 rooms and they live on the main floor and they're always there. This is their business. They're there to help you and they're super kind and super helpful. And I love, love, love their place and I love them. It's amazing. When I walk to the beach, I'm like, nobody's on the beach. What the heck? And so I walk down onto the beach and it's like kind of like, when you're stepping on shells that aren't broken down, it's kind of like, ooh, ah. And there's garbage. And I'm like, what the heck is happening? And nobody's on the beach. And it's not a gorgeous white sandy beach. I was really like, where am I? What have I done? Like, how could all of these reviews be so off? Didn't make sense. And when I went out my first time on the beach, I'm like, let me into the ocean. That's when I realized, I remembered how much I love the ocean and I love the beach, is when I'd been doing all this traveling and not near the ocean. As soon as I reached the ocean, I'm like, I could just exhale. I feel like I was a mermaid or a starfish in a previous life. Like, I just find the ocean so healing, and having your feet connected to the earth is just so healing and so grounding. It's just like, you just exhale and let it all go. It's like, I'm home. Just that feeling of being where you belong. That's what it felt like when I stepped onto the beach for the first time, even though it was a little bit gross. And so the tide was out, and so I was walking in the little puddles, like as the tide is out, like the little pools of water. And all of a sudden I'm like, what the heck is happening here? And I was getting like little stings by teeny jellyfish. Like, sometimes this happens. There's just like a wave, depends on the tide and the season and all this stuff. But I read later that this can happen, right? And they're just little stinging nettles. But I'm walking in this beach where I don't want to be, and I'm disgruntled, and all of a sudden I start like getting zapped by all these. You can't even see them. Like, there were some jellyfish washed up on the shore that were ginormous, like the size of your head, bigger than your head. But there was these little guys that were stinging me. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Okay, well, no wonder nobody's in this water. And then I got out of the water and went back to my hotel, really disgruntled. Like, what have I done? What have I done? And then the next day I rented a scooter from the fabulous people here at the hotel. It was so funny because I rode a scooter when I was in Nicaragua a couple years ago, but I'm not a scooter kind of person. And so the guy's like showing me, like, he shows it to me like, here's how you turn it on, and here's how you turn it off, and here's how you start it. And I'm like, oh, what does this do? What does that do? Like, because I have no idea. And he's just laughing because obviously I don't know what I'm doing. Like, oh, here's how you open the seat. You can put stuff in there. Or, like, he didn't show me all of the things because there's not a lot of things and it's pretty basic. But I remember him saying, as he handed over the key, he just kind of held it for a second, and then he looked me directly in the eye. He's a super nice guy, very kind. He looked me directly in the eye before he let go of the key, and he said, go slow and be careful. Like, he doesn't like English. He doesn't have a lot of English, but that was like perfectly clear. He was just, I think, thinking like, oh my God, I'm never going to see this woman again. She's going to like drive off a bridge somewhere. It was so funny. I'm like, okay, got it. Go slow and be careful. The beautiful thing about where I am though, is that there's literally one road. I can't get lost. Like, I just can't. And everybody here drives really slowly. There's not a ton of cars. They're mostly mopeds, like little scooters and tuk-tuks, and not a ton of cars. And everybody drives slow. It's not like in the other places where you're honking, just be like, hey, I'm passing, I'm not stopping. Like, honking is a language. Like in Vietnam, it's like they're always honking because they're talking to each other. It's not like road rage honk like it is back home. So it's really easy. The only thing is you drive on the other side of the road. So it's like, yeah, whatever, until you're trying to make like a right-hand turn, because that way you're like, it's the opposite of what you do, and you're like, what the hell is going on? But people are really good. You literally like just drive around people. There's nobody that's unhappy. So I'm like, how hard can this be? And I took my little scooter, packed my bag for the day, and I started to go down the beach. And I had mapped out the night before on Google Maps all the beaches, and I thought, I'm going to stop at all of them because this can't be right. Like, this can't be right. And literally 5 minutes down the road, on my little scootin' bootin' mooter, was like the first stop. And I parked my little scooter, and I did get a little lost because there's no names of streets. It's just like, luckily the scooter has like a mount for your phone so you can use your directions as you're driving. And it's like, oh, turn here. I'm like, is there even a street there? You can't even tell. But you know it's to the beach because you see like a lot of people going down that street, which isn't a street. And so, oh, awesome. There it is. I know that is the beach. And so if drive by a couple, like, of course I drive by it and have to turn around and come back. Whatever, you just drive down this little road and boom, I walk out onto the absolute most beautiful, gorgeous beach I've ever seen. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. I was so happy to see that beach because I really thought that I was in the wrong spot and I had made a horrible mistake, which isn't a big deal because I can just go to another island. It's not a problem. But I had done a lot of research and I'm like, what is up with this beach? And the first beach was just beautiful, soft, like yellow, gorgeous sand, and the water was like clear blue, and just it was so amazing. And there were people on the beach and restaurants and bars, and just like, this is what it's all about. And so I walked up and down the beach just to get a vibe for it. And then I got on my scooter and I went to the next beach, and it was even better. This beach was like 5 times as long, and again, not a ton of people, but the water was clear and the beach was clean, and it was just so many restaurants, so much to do. And then I went to the next beach, and it was funny because I had to pay an entrance fee to get into it with my scooter, and I went down the beach, and it was like a really small beach. That's where people go just to only be on the beach. And I'm like, I don't think I meant to go here, because I like the long beaches because, like I said, I don't sit on the beach and suntan. I walk the beach. What I do every morning is, as soon as I get up, I go to the beach and I walk all the way down one end and down the other end, because I'm getting the morning sunlight in my eyes, because that is critical for your circadian rhythm, for optimal health. And then I jump in the water and go swimming because it's so cleansing and I'm moving my body. And then I'll just hang out in the shade until I dry off. And I try not to wear any sunscreen. I always wear a hat, but I try not to wear any sunscreen, because in the morning, this is how it goes, is like when your shadow is longer than you are, then the UV rays are not dangerous. So early in the morning, I don't put sunshine on. I don't put sunscreen on, because you need vitamin D. You need the healing rays of the sun. And when you put sunscreen on, you don't get any of that. And that's part of the problem. So first thing in the morning, I don't put any sunscreen on. Then once I would try to get like 20 minutes of sunshine without any sunscreen. And then I go for a swim, and then I just kind of sit on the beach in the shade and dry off a bit. And then I carried on my trip, and I went down, and I had met, coming over on the speedboat, I had met a woman from Mexico, and she spoke English. Most people here nobody is speaking English. They're speaking a lot of Germans, a lot of Dutch, like just from everywhere except North America. This woman that I sat to, also by herself, a solo traveler, was from Mexico, and she spoke English, really good English and Spanish. Anyway, we were connecting and talking, and she's a different person. Anyway, she's doing a cool thing. I'll do this podcast because I was thinking about this, about how I meet people when I travel and all the cool people that I meet. So I'll save her story for the next one. But the other day I had walked down to this little restaurant where it's just very secluded, and I had met this other woman from Germany who was just leaving the next day, and she's like, oh, you have to go to this restaurant here. And then when I first arrived, I had met a couple from Australia, and he was from England, and they're like, oh, you got to go to this restaurant here. So when I was scooting down, I had put those on my list, and one of them was just like a restaurant with a view, and I pulled up, and then I walked out to the restaurant, and it was just the most gorgeous view I'd ever seen. And from up high, you could see the color of the water, the clarity of the water, just people in there snorkeling, but not a lot of people, but they were snorkeling or just kayaking. It was so gorgeous. It was so gorgeous. And it made me so happy because I knew that I had found the right spot. Anyway, that was kind of the end of my day. And then I didn't make it all the way to the end of the island because I wanted to go back to the big beach and spend the day there. So I went back on my little scooter, and it took me a couple tries to find the place to go down again. But it was so easy just to drive out and park your scooter and then find a spot on the beach and then find a restaurant to go to. But where I've been eating is there's this kind of, it's kind of like a street fair. So it's outdoors, and every night it's all lit up, and all the food vendors go there, like with all their, it would be like the equivalent of a food truck. It's like food tuk-tuks, and they're all there, and they're, you could get anything you want. You can have a little bit of this or a little bit of that. And I ate there the first night, and it was so good. Had pad thai, of course. And then this night I was eyeing up like noodles, and I thought to myself, okay, now that I'm in this place, I need to, because I was full carnivore, trying to eliminate inflammation in my body. And I thought, I gotta see if I can do more meat and see if I can get back to that carnivore thing here. And I'm like, it's gonna be tough because that's not really the what the culture eats. That's not it's, so it would be really, really hard to do. But I thought I'll make an effort. So I had a noodle dish, and then there was all these stalls with kebabs, and I'm like, okay, I'll try a kebab. And it was like, for one chicken kebab, it was 40 baht. I'm like, okay, that's, oh no, it was like 10 baht, and that's like 40 cents. So I thought, I'll get two just to see what they're like. And so I got my little noodle dish, and I got my kebabs, and I sat down. And it's funny because people come and sit with me, because you just share tables, because it's like public eating, right? So people grab their food and sit down, and so you have great conversations with people. And it was funny because I took a bite of the chicken thing, and I was like, oh, this is like weird. It doesn't really taste like chicken. And the guy's like, what is it, cat or dog? And I'm like, oh, no, it's not. I don't even know what it is, but it's kind of like something that's been put into like the form of chicken, and it almost like spam, like that kind of texture. I'm like, but this isn't like chicken that you would think on a kebab, like chicken. I'm like, yeah, this is really weird. And they weren't big, so I ate them, and I shouldn't have. As soon as I said, not my jam, I probably shouldn't have eaten them, but I did. And needless to say, that night I ended up with food poisoning. So, oh my God, it was so horrible. But I think, I don't think you're really living unless you get food poisoning from some tropical paradise street food. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is living. And I would not have said that yesterday, because I spent that night, the whole day, like, just, it was a write-off. Like, blankets over my head. I didn't know if it was day or night. Didn't matter. I'm like, I hear this little knock on my door. I don't know what time it is. I'm not answering the door. It turns out that it was the lady, the owner, because they're like, we haven't seen her all day. Like, she hasn't come out at all. I hope she's okay. And of course I didn't answer the door, because I was just muscling through it pretty much. And then the next day I'm like, okay, I'm alive. She's like, oh, we were so worried about you. But the funny thing is like, I just needed to let it pass. Literally, like, my body is like, okay, there's something bad in here. Let's let it go. So I don't take anything. I just didn't eat, laid in bed, bed, bathroom, bed, bathroom, bed, bathroom. And then this morning I woke up, and I'm like, okay, everything is like my system is now clear. I was just drinking hot water, couldn't eat anything. And the first thing I did was like, I'm going to go jump in the ocean, because that always makes me feel better. And I went out to this beach, and I'm like, I couldn't even do it because it was so icky. So at the hotel here, they have like little mountain bikes. So I'm like, jump on the mountain bike, a 5-minute mountain bike. I'm at the gorgeous beach. I go onto the beach, I jump into the ocean, I swim around for 5 minutes, and then I lay in the shade, and I feel like $1,000,000. I'm like, I am all good again. That's how powerful and healing the ocean is. I just needed some sunshine and some fresh ocean on my face, healing my body, and boom, Bob's your uncle. It's funny too, because I had wore these sandals the first day, and instantly you get a blister. And it took a while to heal. Like, it wasn't healing as I was traveling to all these places. But as soon as I went into the ocean, it just healed up right away. So I am here to say, don't worry about me. I survived the dark night of the soul. And now it's like it never even happened. It was just such a great feeling to jump in the ocean. Like, just like as soon as I went in the ocean, it felt like life is good. Everything is going to be okay. and and then I just walk around, ride my bike, like just discover the little town. So you go from like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, to like life is so amazing. Just with all it takes is like one swim in the ocean, one walk on the beach, and then life is good again. So I just wanted to share that story with you because I feel like there's no such thing as like a international travel adventure without some sort of, food something going on. And the lady at the desk was like, yeah, those things aren't very trustworthy. You just eat at a restaurant and you'll be fine. But you know what? Having said that, like it's so crazy because just when I think about those chicken kebabs, that makes me want to hurl. But they do have a baked potato stand, which is what my stomach is craving right now, is just a baked potato, because it just needs a little bit of comfort food, like just straight up baked potato and butter and salt, and that's it. And then I did a whole bunch of research on foods that I can eat to lower inflammations, because I can't do carnivore when I'm here. It's just not feasible. So I'll do a low inflammation diet, which is super, super basic with just clean foods. And I can let you know what that is. I've got my protocol all written down, so I'm going to work on that. Having said that, I'm going to leave you with this, because when I first arrived here, I'm like, I have to try the local food. So the pad thai, insane. They just cook it in front of you on a fire. It was just like so good. But I won't be eating that anymore. And then the other thing that I had, because hey, when you're in Thailand, you gotta experience the local food. I had what's called the Thai dessert, which is mango and sticky rice. Oh my god! Oh my god! If you know, you know. And I got it from a cart at the night thing. Again, this was before I got sick, so. And it was this little old woman, like she looked like she was 100 years old, and she had this little Santa Claus that was going up and down on the chain, and it was super, like she has this all made up, and she just like scoops it up. What size do you want? I got a small one, and it was literally sticky rice with a fresh mango. She peels it in front of you, and then she puts a little secret sauce on it, like out of this big cauldron. She just opens up, puts a scoop on it, and then sprinkles some like toasted coconut or something on it. And then she just puts in the chopsticks and the spoon, and then like, there you go. And it was the most delicious thing I've ever had. Like, I would live off of that if I could. Now, I won't have it again because the sauce has a little bit of sugar in it. But it was amazing. And I kept telling everybody, like, you got to try this. Anybody that asked, I'm like, you got to go to this lady here, because when I was explaining it to the people that I'm staying with, she's like, oh, that lady there, she's been selling this, like doing this for 20 years. Like, she has the best dessert. And I'm like, oh my God, like she has perfected it. It was just like so delicious and so heavenly. But that was my getting to the island and then trying all the foods, so that now I can like stick to their basic whole clean foods Thai style, which is what we do. We adapt and we move on. Anyway, I just wanted to share. Don't worry about me. I bounce back. I'm back to 100%, and I'm almost ready to go hunt down my potato for dinner tonight, so that until tomorrow when I'm back to 1,000%. And I'll go on my protocol. But I already have this stall picked out. Yeah, I'm going back to the food thing. I know. But it's a potato. Like, come on. It's a basic potato. So I don't think that it can go wrong, because the stall that I've picked out always has a big lineup. So I know that it's going to be really good. All the ones with the lineups, that's like, you must go there. And I think about the one where the chicken was. I'm like, ay. I think I have to walk past it to get to this potato stall. Damn it. Okay, anyway, as always, thank you for listening. You never know when things could turn around in a heartbeat. Like one jump in the ocean and life went from hell to like heaven, just like that. So always look for the positive. Keep your chin up. You'll always find what you're looking for. That's kind of like my take on from down and out to like up and at 'em. No, thank you for listening. Always love yourself first, and have an amazing day.